In 1934, Senator Gerald Nye of North Dakota was appointed chairman of a federal investigation known as the Senate Munitions Committee. Amidst widespread allegations, they set out to discover the precise role America's shipyards and armaments industry played in coaxing the nation into World War I. The Munitions Committee was composed of 7 senators from across the nation, including Washington's own Homer Truett Bone. At the close of the investigation in 1936, the committee found that the armaments industry and the federal defense establishment knowingly undermined diplomatic efforts for global peace, that global threats were embellished to justify spending on weapons with little practical use, and that World War I was immensely profitable for the so-called merchants of death, even as it was so costly in American lives. Memory of World War I's carnage fueled the Senate Munitions Committee, but it was also an expression of public disenchantment with market forces brought on by the Great Depression of 1929. A state known for its progressivism, the Democratic National Chairman in 1934 said that the nation was composed of 47 states, plus the Soviet of Washington. The truth was that red baiting prevented far-reaching attempts to counter the Great Depression's effects in the 1930s. Income tax was voted down 4 times in the decade, wage reform not even considered. Seattle's unemployment rate was consistently in the 30s during the 30s, and destitute laborers huddled with natives in waterfront shack towns named Hoovervilles, after a callously unresponsive president.
Carry our financial structure safely through the worldwide collapse. We face that crisis. We face it with singleness of purpose, and above all, with faith. Keep that faith constant. Keep that faith high. So shall we win through to a better day.
During the Roosevelt administration, the biggest Hooverville was on the grounds the dried-up Skinner and Eddy shipyard used to occupy, a stark example of the link between war and the city's fortunes. To guard against future post-war recessions, the Nye Commission would suggest a 98% tax on all business profits made during war years, as well as nationalization of the armaments industry. The recommendations had as much to do with the bitter aftermath of one world war as it did with the begrudging anticipation of another. As we suffer a depression in the 21st century, we're drawn to obvious parallels between our situation and the one in the 1930s. We have a hard time evaluating the failures and successes of the New Deal because it never had to prove itself. What would we have done to end the Great Depression and to prevent future ones if it weren't for World War? In light of the enormous booms resulting from military mobilization in the generation ahead, it's a question that some, starting the 40s, insisted we'd never have to bother with again.